If you're thinking about making the move to Sacramento and you want a deal, that's right, guys. You want someone to buy down your rate. You want someone to pay for money for closing costs. You want someone to throw in maybe free solar. Guys, these three suburbs in the Sacramento area are the most competitive. There's tons of new home building. Competition is crazy in these areas. Everyone's talking about deals. Everyone's talking about end of the year, Q4, all that kind of fun stuff. In this video, we're going to cover three of the most popular suburbs right now where you're going to find those incentives, buying down your rates. You're going to find some builders throwing in solar. These are the areas you should be looking at if you're looking for a deal in the Sacramento area. We're going to cover all of them. We're going to talk pros and cons, who's building there, who's not, where you're going to find these deals, guys. This video is going to be great. Let's get into it right now. All right, hopefully you guys are having a fun evening. Okay, so we're going to get into the show. And before we get started talking a little bit about new homes, and new homes are going to be a majority of what we're talking about on this home, especially the areas, like the amazing areas like West Roseville and everything too. We're going to talk a little bit about some crazy stuff happening lately, and I just kind of want to keep you guys a little bit informed about this as well too. Here we go. As far as rates go, it seems like, because of stuff like, Netflix, earnings aren't great. Tesla's earnings aren't great. It looks like some people are putting their money into the bond market, which is interesting because rates are kind of dipping at this point. A lot of people are claiming it's the lowest it's been in like, what was it? In a year, 3 years. I still think it was a little lower, maybe, just before Powell did his talk, but it's interesting, right? There's no really rhyme or reason as far as why rates are kind of dropping right now. We don't know exactly if it's going to continue. We don't know where it is. A lot of people are freaking out right now because they realize that the CPI report, consumer price, and here we go. Here, let's see if we can pull it up. The consumer price index report is going to come out on Friday. So why is this so important, right? Okay, so they anticipated 2.9 as far as inflation. And if it goes higher than that, that could mean all of a sudden, like, rates could actually, go up. If it's under 2.9, it could go down. So it's going to be very, very interesting. A lot of people right now are wondering if they should lock their rate. And, who could blame them? I mean, everyone's kind of wondering exactly what to do. It's a tough one, right? And there's, how can I say it? I would never tell you guys exactly what I think is good or, what you should do, because that's not what this is about. This is more about educating you guys in the market and everything too. But this is interesting. I've talked to at least 4 different lenders and none of them have been able to pinpoint the reason why rates have been dipping. None of them. Everyone's saying, oh, it's because the jobs report. But the jobs report came out a while ago, and we saw that little bit of a drop. No one can really kind of put their finger on it. Now, I did a lot of research, talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people were pointing to the fact that because Tesla did bad, Netflix did bad, and a bunch of other companies, stocks did bad, a lot of people are moving their money into the 10-year treasury. I don't know if that's necessarily 100% spot on, but what I do know is that the CPI report coming out Friday is going to basically really, really either help us keep going down in rates, or we could stay steady if if the numbers are higher than anticipated. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, I'm not telling you guys you should time the market, not time your life. We don't do this on this channel. It's all about timing your life and, not the market. But I will tell you, for those who are really rate conscious, are wondering right now if they should lock their rate before the CPI report comes out, because probably is going to affect rates one way or the other. It's an interesting one, right? CPI report bad, higher than anticipated. All of a sudden, we're in a situation where we could see rates start to go back up again. CPI report lower, we could see rates drop even lower. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I wanted to throw this on because everyone's like always talking to me and going like, what the Fed rate isn't about mortgage rates. Okay, I get it. But here's where it gets interesting. Here's the 10-year treasury. Boom. Look at that. I mean, it's dropping. So for me, this is really, really interesting. Like I said, I called all the gurus of gurus mortgages and none of them could pinpoint it. Normally it's before, Jerome Powell is going to talk and everyone's anticipating a cut, yada, yada. There's just nothing. And even the CPI report, no one really knows if it's going up or down. There's not a whole lot of predictions. It seems like the basic idea right now is people are pulling their money out or diverting money from stocks into bonds. Now, I'm not sure if that's 100% legit, but that's the only 411 I could get on it. Now, the big thing for you guys, though, is I would say if you're someone who's looking to lock in the rate, it's kind of, Friday is when the report comes out. That could influence the interest rate market, not or mortgage rates and Fed rate, all that stuff. But At the same time, here's what I would say for you guys, like just realize that Friday is going to be a big one. If rates are going to stay this way, go this way or go down. So it's going to be interesting. And like I said, for me, I wanted to check out the 10-year treasury, and this is, I mean, it's dipping. So like I said, guys, stay tuned. This is going to be interesting for a lot of people who are thinking about like refinancing, and you're saying to yourself, like, this could be the moment that I do it. This could be, I mean, you never know. I mean, you don't know if rates are going to go back up, after the report's out, or rates could go lower. And like I said, this is a completely personal choice. I would say talk to a mortgage professional about it. Now, if you're looking for mortgage people like brokers, informations and recommendations, we definitely have a few that we work with. Reach out to me about that now. But I would say more than not, this is a very interesting one because rates are dipping. No one really knows why they're dipping, and they're just dipping. So it could continue. It could be an interesting Christmas holiday season. I don't know, but this is just something to be abreast of, especially if you're someone who's looking to buy right now and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm very rate conscious. I need rates to drop a little bit. They're dropping. So who knows for how long? It could switch tomorrow, could switch Friday, but just so you guys are a little bit in the know about what's going on. So I found it very interesting myself. All right. I'm thankful to hear from time. Hey, and thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys tuning in and everything too. Also, anything that I bring up here regarding like new homes, regarding like rates, 10-year treasury, like all that stuff too. I want you guys also to give me a little bit of your feedback. What you guys think is happening? What do you guys think? What is that information that people watching the show need to know? Even if you don't agree with me, I mean, that's 100% what this kind of live broadcast is about. I'm not a lender, and I'm definitely, I'm a realtor who's just following this stuff and kind of trying best to keep my clients and keeping you guys informed about what's going on in the market. So if you guys have some information, if you guys know about something, or if you guys are like, you want to say something about this, like, please do. This is what we're here for. This is what the show's all about. All right. Boom. The show is way better than watching that comment right there, that made my entire night. I appreciate you. Really. All right, go Kings. Love the show. Yeah, Kings. Like I said, imagine if the Kings did really well in the playoffs. Well, yeah, it should be fun. All right, what's up, Mark? Other rates seem to be high now. I remember my parents telling me they had a rate of 13%. Things can definitely get worse. I agree. And I think, here's the thing, and this is the biggest thing about rates, in my opinion, is that Pandora's box was opened during COVID when they artificially held the bond market down. We're buying bonds and everything too, and we got down to 2.75 or 2.25. A lot of people, bought during that time. Now, a lot of people were scared to buy during that time too, because, appraisals and all that stuff too. A lot of people were freaking out. In retrospect, yeah, everyone's patting themselves on the back, but everyone was freaking out. They were wondering if, I got a lot of people on this channel who were saying, I'm not buying now, even though rates are 2.75. I know prices are going to crash. And a lot of people like kick themselves for not buying. Now, what I'm finding though, more than not, is the idea that like, now that we saw 2.75, it's kind of hard to put it back in the box. Some people with VAs got 2.25s. So I think one of those things is it's really just hard, because if you compare like, 6.5, 6.25 to like a 2.25 or 2.75, it kind of makes you really go, oh man, is this the right move to make? I mean, look at this. I'm just going to wait for rates to get down to 2.75 again. Then I'm going to buy. Will that ever, I don't think that's going to happen unless some black swan event happens. But for the most part, once you see it, you can't really unsee it. And I think primarily like our market is suffering because of that. I think there's so many people that are in these 2.75 interest rates and 2.25s. And even if they might want to move, and just the natural thing in real estate is people stay in their homes for 5 to 7 years. But here's the thing. I think people who are like in their homes, already 5 to 7 years, they did this jump and they have a 2.75. I just think that rate is so good, so nice. That payment is so nice. And they see the chaos right now of this real estate market. And they're like, what am I going to do? Am I going to give up my 2.75 interest rate, sell my house in this market, which clearly, like I've been seeing a lot of houses sit on the market longer than they probably should. Then I'm going to sell my house, maybe make a profit. Then I'm going to grab that profit and I'm going to buy a house that's probably not as good as the house I'm even selling and have like a larger payment. So I think a lot of people are just sitting in their homes. I think even the baby boomers who are thinking to themselves, you know what, I got a 3,000 square foot house. It's just me and kids are off to college and I just have this, but I know if I sell it and I need to get an interest rate, need to get a mortgage, it just doesn't make sense. So I think you're seeing a lot of people like that right now too, who are like snug. It's a bug in the rug, just sitting there with their 2.75s and saying, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing it. It's just not going to happen for me, and now that we're seeing somewhat inventory hitting the market a little bit more than normal, and we're seeing that sellers aren't making out like bandits like they were a little while ago. I think now even less, before, what was it, like 6-7 months ago, people were like, yeah, sell my house, make a nice profit for it. There we go. Now it's like, sellers are like, inventory's hitting the market. There's a lot more inventory on the market and your margins aren't really that attractive at this point. So I think the 2.75ers are going to hold us down for a while. And I don't blame you. I really don't blame a person when I talk to them, and I do talk to a lot of them. They say, I got a 2.75. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to die in my house. And I got people who actually have said that to me point blank. I'm not moving. I'm not leaving. I got a 2.75. I absolutely love it. Even Guitars, who's on here a lot in comments, he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Those rates drop crazy low. I'm not going anywhere. And I think a lot of people feel that way. And a lot of the inventory that we're missing, the good stuff, that really amazing homes where, back in the day, you'd see like, oh, I'm going to Folsom. I'm going to check out like 10 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath homes. That market, that's done. If you see one, you're lucky. And if that one goes, it might have a few offers for it as well too. But we used to have a market here in Sacramento before the 2.75 market where you could go out and you could see, honestly, like 10 homes. Out of those 10 homes, 7 of them be like really like winners. You're like, I just don't know which one I want. I haven't seen a market like that in a long, long time. A lot of people are, instead of kind of like waiting for that 9 or 10 house, right? They're like, waiting for that house. It really makes me like excited. They're settling for the 7 or 8s. And that's the kind of market we're at right now. So like I said, I think the 2.75, I think that's one of the things that's going to keep us down for a while. And let me ask you guys in the comments, if you guys are watching this show, if you guys are, listening to what I'm saying, do you think if you're one of those 2.75ers that are out there and you're saying to yourself, I'm not selling anytime soon. Hey, Mark, great job on the podcast, but I'm not selling my house. I got a 2.75. I got a great rate. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Let me know in the comments because I know there's a lot of you out there. There are just so many people sitting on those 2.75s. Can I blame you for that? No, I can't. That's a sweet rate. That is just an amazing rate, amazing payment. And even in the new home area where they're offering crazy buy downs, they can't touch that. So yeah, I get it. All right. Boom. Devin, what's up, Mark? Although rates seem to be high, remember, okay, sorry about that. Man, I'm losing my brain today. Sorry, I've been running around. I was in, Pilot Hill? I was in El Dorado Hill. I was in Folsom. I was running around the area, so I apologize if I seem a little distracted. But I was prepping for the show because of the rate drop. Really, I found it very interesting that there really wasn't an underlying reason for the rate drop. But I wanted you guys to know that the rates have kind of dipped a little bit. Okay, so Tatiana, how are you doing? My favorite influencer. Love seeing your stories on Instagram. Really makes me really want to travel. So thank you for tuning in. All right, so let's jump into it. Okay, so we talked a little bit about rates as far as everything going, as far as maybe what you guys should need to tune in for the CPI or, consumer price index report, coming out on Friday. That's going to be a big one. If it's lower than 2.9, guys, it could be really, really good for rates. And if it's higher, you could see rates completely come, they're low right now, but you could see them rebound. Like I said, it'll be interesting. And also another thing too, and I'm going to just throw this out there because I know I'm going to get slammed if I don't. Always look at the US 10-year treasury. This is going to be your indicator of where rates are going. This is a big, big indicator as far as mortgage interest rates. Probably even more importantly than the Fed rate. So just keep an eye on that. Okay, so let's jump into some fun stuff. Here we go. Okay, so in Sacramento, for the most part, we got all this new home building. Isn't that crazy, the amount of new homes communities that we have in the Sacramento area? We got Taylor, we got Lennar, we got Woodside, we got KB. We got so many builders. It's just like incredible. South Sacramento, you got Delta Shores. East Elk Grove, you got like, what was that, in the 758, 757. There's just so many communities, so many properties and everything too that are up. Now, as far as the market goes right now, everyone's trying to get into the Q4 stuff. Toll Brothers is at the end of October, and I think Taylor's as well too. But this is going to be the time of the year where you're going to see some deals. Like I'm seeing some price drops, which for me, I haven't seen price drops in new homes, man, at least maybe a year and a half, maybe legitimate ones, But I'm seeing Toll Brothers drop. Lennar always drops. I'm seeing Taylor drop, Woodside drops. I'm seeing a lot of people drop prices as far as their homes go. Now, for builders, here's the thing straight. Builders are the last thing they want to do is reduce the price on anything. That's the last thing they want to do. Because if you reduce the price on a house, all of a sudden it sets the tone for that community. Also, it pisses off a lot of the people who bought prior. But we're seeing price reductions as well too. Now, another thing we're seeing also is builders throwing in solar. We're seeing people buy down rates, closing costs, throw in for land premiums as well too. There's some really, really amazing kind of deals right now. Now, before we jump into those deals and we talk a little bit about new homes, a deal is only a deal for someone who is looking for something specific. I guess what I'm saying is sometimes you'll see something on Amazon, you'll see something and you'll go, oh, that's a fantastic deal. Doesn't mean it's a deal for you. Doesn't mean you should pull the trigger on it. It's a deal for someone who's basically, if someone's looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath Taylor Morrison home, and for the last year, all they've seen is homes that are $700,000. And then all of a sudden now they're seeing homes that are $600,000. That's a deal, right? So remember, it's really, really relative. And I want you guys to know this because during this time of the year, you're also going to see a lot of sales, a lot of schlocky stuff going on, a lot of crazy stuff happen. And I would say one of the things before anything, just don't get so carried away, right? I still think this market, even though the new homes are really good deals right now too, I don't think that there's a big push in this market for people to just need to buy because if they don't, they're going to regret it because rates are going back up, inventory. I just don't see that there being a big push in this market, which tends to be one of the reasons why I think demand is a little lower than most. It's been a little cold this year. I just think that there's no big impending, oh my God, if you don't buy now, rates are going to go to 8 and you're going to be in deep trouble. There's just none of that. So I don't want you to guys, when you're seeing all these crazy commercials or people are telling you to buy, walk slowly, do your research, education piece of it, figure out communities and areas, the difference between them, especially if you're in the new homes. Right now, you could definitely get deals. And we're going to go into some of the communities, some of the areas I think are really hot deals in the market. But at the same time, just figure out what you want. Just because you see an amazing home at an amazing price point, it could be in in a community, an area that really doesn't work for you. So I would say don't run to these deals. Maybe have a nice walk, do the education piece of it. If you're looking at West Roseville, also maybe look at Rockland, maybe look at Rancho, figure out the school districts, check out crime maps as well too. Check out new projects coming to the area. Figure out which one not only is going to get you a great home, a great deal, but is also an area that you want to live in, right? The thing about Sacramento, and for a lot of people out there who don't know Sacramento, areas are really, really different. Rancho and West Roseville, you might look at both and you're it kind of feels like I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I'm not. Things are being built. They seem really, really similar. I mean, the homes might seem relatively similar, but the areas are completely different. West Roseville, you got the new college, extension coming in over there too. You got the new Costco coming in. You got the new surf park. You got all the building that's happening at Placer One, Placer Vineyards. You got Bickford also connecting in. Roseville, you have Roseville Electric, and then you look at Rancho, which is nice as well too. You're close to Folsom, so Folsom becomes your big shopping hub. You're in Smud country. You got the Braden project coming in. You got the connector that's going to connect everyone up with from Folsom, El Dorado Hills, all the way to Elk Grove. So I would say for all you guys out there, just do that research piece of it, right? One of the things about Rancho is that you're in Elk Grove Unified School District. It's great, right? It's everyone loves Elk Grove Unified School District. And like I said, schools are very subjective, so I'd say to go to greatschools.org. But a lot of the people that we move in who can't maybe afford Elk Grove or just don't want to buy something that they don't like in Elk Grove, a lot of them come to Rancho and they'll look in Rancho because it's a bigger bang for your buck. Better bang for your buck in Rancho than in Elk Grove. This is good. Still get the schools, but the biggest thing that they need to keep in mind is that as for right now, you have to kind of bus in the schools to Elk Grove. So there are these little facets of these areas that you need to kind of figure out before you pull the trigger. And just because you see this crazy, $399, oh my God, that interest rate is crazy. I gotta buy that before someone else does. I'm gonna tell you something. What I'm seeing right now in the new home industry right now in the season, you might see a deal, and I'm not saying to pass up your dream home, but I'm going to tell you something right now that in the new home market industry, builders areas, there are a lot of deals. So don't feel like that pressure that if you see something, it's too good to be true, it'll never come your way again. I mean, like I said, look at the map. This is all the new home building happening in the Sacramento area. So I would say educate yourself, figure out what kind of incentives work for you. The other thing too is if you are working with a build, or if you're looking at a builder and the builder is saying, look, we're not going to give you closing costs, we're not going to buy down your rate, but we're going to drop the price of the house $20,000. Do the calculations. Sometimes that works. And sometimes, I mean, you're saving a whole lot more money if you get a nice permanent buy down. And sometimes closing costs make more sense. So you got to do the evaluations, which incentive works the best for you. And sometimes I know that carrot will be dangling. They'll be, we'll drop the price just for you, $20,000. Look at the monthly. See what the monthly looks like. The monthly is a big indicator for a lot of people that I know. You know, everyone's so enamored with the price point of the house, right? My buddy Matt Barba's here too, and he'll tell you straight up, people are enamored with the house price, right? They're just so fixated, not enamored, fixated on the house price. They're like, I can't buy a house that's more than $500,000. $500,000, that's my cap. I'll tell you guys straight up, the best way I know to go about looking for a house is your monthly. Monthly is so much more important to me than house price. Look at your monthly, figure out what that's going to look like with HOAs, with Melrose, property tax, the whole 9 yards. Look at that. That's going to give you that like peace of mind that you say, if I buy a house for this amount of money, this is my monthly payment. This is what I got every single month to pay up, you know? And if you go there, it's going to give you a little bit more of a peace of mind. If you go more for the price point, especially if you go in the resale market, I mean, honestly, you probably get like what, a 6.5 and you're paying like what, $5,000-$6,000 a month. But all of a sudden, if you buy something like, let's say K-Hov and Rancho, and they buy your rate down to 3.99, you might be able to buy a $600,000 house, and it might end up being relatively the same. So just understand that your monthly is something you should definitely focus on more than your price point on your house. All right, boom. Good evening, Sam. How are you doing, my friend? Sam we got spokespeople of all areas. We got Sam, who's a spokesperson of the Rancho Anatolia area. And then we got West Roseville, two of my favorite areas in all of the Sacramento area. I would say all the areas that I'm going to mention to you, there are three, I think, that you can get smoking deals right now. If you're looking for something maybe like $500,000 and that's what you're looking for incentives, you're looking for buy downs. I would say West Roseville might be on the higher end of it just because of all the cool stuff being built in West Roseville. But we're going to go over each one of these areas and talk a little bit about which ones can get you those deals. All right, Matt Barba, how you doing, my friend? All right, let's get to some of these questions. There are two elementary schools in the new area of Rancho that are Elk Grove Unified, but both are in the Anatolia area. Yep. The middle and high schools are still bused to Elk Grove. Yeah, and that's a thing. I think for the most part, what you're going to notice is within the next like 2 to 3 years, there's probably going to be, okay, this is kind of interesting, right? So between Rancho and Folsom, what you're noticing is they're going to be building in another middle school and another high school. Now, I'm kind of curious because of the proximity. I know they're not Elk Grove Unified, but I'm kind of curious how that's going to work as well, too. But look, guys, here's the thing about Rancho. There's so many homes being built. Okay. Now, what does that mean? That means that all the people out there are paying Melrose. So if it was me and I bought in the Rancho area and I was one of the thousands upon thousands of people buying the area, I would wonder, where are my middle schools? Where are my high schools? We're paying all this Melrose. We want a high school. We want a middle school so we don't have to bus in. That would be me. And we want them in the Elk Grove Unified School District, but we want them in the Rancho Anatolia area. That would be me. And hopefully they're coming soon because honestly, that would be another big game changer for that area. All right. Hey, Mark, Just checking in to tell you some good news. We got seller concessions. Ooh, waive the contingencies on Monday. Close next Tuesday. Already clear to close. Thanks for all your information. Thank you. That also made my evening. I'm excited. There's nothing like getting into a house kind of this close to the holiday season too. You got the cool weather. I'm gonna send you some good positive vibes for moving day. Hopefully we don't get some rain for you. Hopefully it's clear skies and you guys enjoy it. I think one of the things that a lot of people, especially in the real estate industry, don't realize, a lot of people are so ingrained in the idea that doing transaction. They don't realize that a normal person during the course of their life will probably buy like 1 or 2 houses max. This is probably going to be the most stressful purchase you'll make in your entire life. And so when you do buy a house, when you do sell your house, this is a huge, huge deal. Savor the moment. Like I said, congratulations. I'm glad you got all those things. I'm glad you're closing, and I'm glad you're making it. So good job. And like I said, don't take this lightly. Take a photo and, congrats. I love that. Love it. All right. How do you feel about Citrus Heights? Okay, here's the thing about me. I like Citrus Heights. I think it's nice. I think it's central and everything too. The only big thing about Citrus Heights is the fact that it's not really as easy to get on freeways from Citrus Heights. Certain areas are a little bit easier than most, but Citrus Heights needs to have some sort of better access to the freeways. But I think Citrus Heights, the price point is fantastic. I think in Citrus, you can get something like maybe a 3 and 2, sometimes even a 4 and 2, maybe a ranch style home there for under $500,000. I think Citrus Heights, by the Mariposa area in Citrus Heights, you can get some land as well too. Some of it's agricultural zoned, so you can even get a lot more land. Citrus, I think there's some communities there that are gated, which I like. But if I was going into Citrus, I would look for a house that had a nice piece of land, isolated and everything too. That would be me. But for a lot of people who move into the area, just because we're seeing traffic kind of go up and up and up in our area, people are feeling that Citrus is a little bit more it's not as close to the freeway as it should be. And like I said, every single area is going to have good parts, bad parts, and everything too. And I would say Citrus Heights is definitely an area to area kind of city. So just make sure that wherever you're moving into, you know which schools you're associated with, how the crime looks in that area as well too. And one thing too, and I will throw this out there to everybody out there, and this is a huge one. Before you pull the trigger on a home, check schools, greatschools.org, check the crime maps, and number 3, and this is a huge one, especially if you have children, go to the Megan's Law website and do a search before you pull the trigger on a home, and just figure out who lives in your area or neighborhood and everything too. Those are things that I would definitely do, and I would encourage anyone else to do as well too. I'm a parent, and that's, at least for me, when I moved into my latest and greatest, I definitely did that as well too. And I would tell everybody, I think those 3 things, if you see a house on Zillow, let's say you love it, let's say something's coming through the feed, so you're using the Sacramento real estate app, our app, which is the best app in the world, and you can download it at the App Store. I would say also the 3 things that I would have on just speed dial for any of these houses that I'm looking at, any of these addresses: Megan's Law, crime map, and schools. Just make sure you know exactly. Now, for schools, a little subjective, right? I mean, ratings and all that stuff too. I would go to some of the events, especially holiday events like trunk or treat and everything too, and just vibe out the parents, see the type of energy there. For the schools, as far as my daughter goes, we go to Gold River Discovery. One of the things I love the most is the community behind it, because Gold River Discovery, all the kids are kind of on the same soccer teams. Then they're all, because we have the swim team right in Gold River, they're in the swim teams. So my daughter gets to hang around with the same people, her same group of friends, and no matter where she goes as far as sports, hanging out and everything too. So I would say also vibe out the community aspect of it. I think that's huge. I mean, I know ratings, grades, teachers, and everything too. I think that's a huge one, right? Everyone wants to make sure their kids are the next goes to good college, all that stuff too. But I will tell you one thing, and this comes from personal experience. You can go to the greatest school in the world, but if the environment isn't something that your children actually want to go to school for, and they don't want to see their friends, and they don't want to they don't enjoy it and everything too, it's just not good in any way, shape, or form. So I would definitely not only take a look at how good the schools rank, but go over there and vibe out the parents, the teachers, the kids there and everything too. Just see what kind of energy, kind of environment is at school. Like I said, that would just be me. For me, I'm a big proponent on like the education piece of it, even as a realtor, right? And realtors have this like, holier than thou, like, oh, we know it all. No, we don't. Every community, every area, every house is different. You don't know who lives next to you and all that stuff too. So those are the things that I would check with any neighborhood. Now, getting back to it, I think Citrus Heights is one of those areas in the Sacramento area where you have your $1 million homes. I think you have your, houses for $400,000. You have everything in Citrus Heights underneath. You also have good duplex opportunities as well too. But one thing that Citrus needs is a little bit better access to the freeway. A lot of people I've talked to are like, I love Citrus. I think it's great. I just feel a little landlocked and it's almost impossible sometimes during traffic time to get from point A to point B. So that's it. But I like Citrus. And the price point, I don't know if you can find it anywhere. I mean, Citrus, what's else? Citrus, Antelope. There's some areas near downtown Sacramento. What else? Rosemont, College Glen, which I really like as well too. There are some areas, but Citrus is still a solid price point. All right. What do you think happens with rents in the next 5 years? I've seen it stabilize in the past couple of years. Well, here's the thing with rents. With all the stuff that's happening in the Sacramento area, it's going to be fun. It's going to be an interesting thing for rents, right? For rentals. I think that I have a friend of mine, Ben, he does Key Finder, right? And he rents luxury homes like this. I mean, like you have a luxury home, he will rent it for like 2 to 3 weeks. It'll be done. Good rental price and everything too. So the luxury market here for rentals is pretty good, honestly. I would say rents in general, as I've always seen it, when the rates are high, what I've seen is rents tend to kind of aim a little higher just because people can't afford to buy. The kicker right now is in the Sacramento area, a lot of people who can't afford to buy because the incentives are being given to new homes can. So you got KHA, for example, like in Rancho, who's throwing down like some great 4% interest rates. And I think that is probably why rents aren't going up and they're stabilizing. In the next few years, we're building so many homes. I don't know. I've seen also investors, for the most part, kind of downshift into buying properties here. A lot of them are shifting into more like quads, fourplexes. A lot of them are shifting into properties that don't have Melrose or HOAs as well too. I like Sacramento, and I think, what was that, maybe 10 years ago, I knew so many people in the Bay Area who couldn't afford to buy a house in the Bay Area, but bought rental properties in the Sacramento area, like in the Rosemont area, College Glen area. So I don't know. I think rents stabilize. I think that it's going to be interesting to see so many homes being built in the area and how that impacts the rental market as well too. I think though, Sacramento 5 years ago, 6 years ago was so known for its first-time home buyers. And I think that market isn't as strong as it was before. And I think a lot of the people who have to be in Sacramento one way or the other might choose now to rent as opposed to buy. So I wouldn't be surprised if the rental market kind of starts peaking up a little bit next year. It's not a guarantee, but based on what I'm seeing. Now, the other thing too that I'm finding very interesting is that, and this is a big one, a lot of people that I'm seeing, normally what you'll see is people that'll be like, you know what, I want to go to Sacramento for a couple weekends, find my home, and I'm going to purchase my home. What I've seen right now, because a lot of people aren't feeling the pressure, like you got to buy. I'm seeing a lot of people rent for 6 months, rent for a year, discover Sacramento, kind of, understand what they're getting themselves into, and then purchase. I've seen that become a lot more popular within the last year. So that alone also is going to be probably fueling the rental market a little bit more as well too. So for me, like I said, the rental market's interesting in Sacramento. I think with all the buildings we have coming, with all the businesses coming in, with all the hospitals and everything too. I mean, I think that as like what's called areas like West Sacramento have more like commercial built in, West Roseville, Rancho and everything too. I think you're going to see the rental market stronger in the Sacramento area as well too. It's fun. It's interesting. Like I said, the rental market here has always been good for investors, but as of late, higher interest rates, investors have kind of been like slower on it. I think that our rents could pick up. Hopefully they do. It'll be interesting to see how it works, but I think it's really, really the big thing for me is always interest rates. Higher interest rates, people can't afford to buy. They jump into rentals, interest rates drop a little bit. All of a sudden, everyone's buying, no one's renting. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. All right. Or Fair Oaks or Orangevale. I like Fair Oaks. I think Fair Oaks, I think the price point for Fair Oaks, those three places, let's go Citrus, Fair Oaks, Orangevale. Fair Oaks, I think, is like, it's probably hard to find anything really, really like, move-in ready for like under 550. Citrus, I still think you could find stuff that's move-in ready for under 500, except it's a little more landlocked. Orangevale is an interesting one too. Orangevale butts up to Folsom. It butts up to Grant Bay as well too. So you have your really like communities like Woodbridge over in Orangevale that have Grant Bay prices. Then you have some of Orangevale that's a little bit more farmy and kind of reminds you a little bit more of Citrus Heights. Orangevale is an interesting one. It definitely matters where you buy. I've seen houses like in Woodbridge, like right on the border of like Orangevale and Grant Bay. I mean, you can't get in there for like underneath 1.2. So that's an Orangevale community that's probably like a really, really interesting standout community. And then I've also seen Orangevale that kind of borders up to Folsom, and price points are maybe not as high as Folsom, maybe 50 to 60,000 lower. So I think Orangevale is an interesting one. Depending on which part of Orangevale, you just see drastic price differences, I guess you can call it. Now, Fair Oaks for me, like I said, I love Fair Oaks. I think Fair Oaks is, now that downtown or Old Town Fair Oaks is being like, the downtown area is revamped, the amphitheater, there's going to be more concerts and stuff in Fair Oaks. I love Fair Oaks. I think if you're looking for Hallmarky, if you're looking for a little country, you're looking for a community, you're looking for that Old Town charm, but not too much, right? Not like, crazy, I think Old Town Sacramento is a little much for me. Old Folsom's a little much for me. I think Fair Oaks is like the perfect blend of like Hallmarky kind of vibe to it. I love it. I love the old kind of like the downtown Fair Oaks area too. I love the chickens kind of cruising around. Shangri-La is a great place to eat there too. So I like Fair Oaks. I got a big love for Fair Oaks. And I think location wise, it's fantastic too. You can get Fair Oaks where you can get houses on the water. You can go up by Kenneth. You can see some of the coolest stuff in all the Sacramento and Fair Oaks too. So Fair Oaks is a really good one for me. I like it. All right. Hey, Pamela. Hey, Mark. Are condo rentals cheaper than apartments? Apartments are costing as much as $1,900 and more for one bedrooms. Condos can be, but condos also, condos are interesting. Condos are kind of like, apartments are easier to find. Condos are less. It's harder to find condos for rent than apartments, of course. So what you're going to see is, as far as supply and demand goes, because condos are like less on the market and people aren't really searching for them, condos can be really, really good deals. Like I've seen condos, even buying condos, I've seen the condo market kind of dip and investors kind of jump in to buy those condos. But the prices for condos, the rents for condos have not surpassed apartments in the Sacramento area, which I found kind of weird. But yeah, I think the condo market is pretty good here. I think if it was me and I was going condo or apartment, depending on the apartment's amenities comparatively towards the condo amenities, I would probably steer a little bit towards condos myself. I think there's some nice ones, especially in Roseville, like Zephyr. There's some really nice condos as well over there too. But for me, yeah, I think condos are a little bit more affordable rent-wise than apartments. All right. Boom. Being retired, I'm looking at Citrus, Orangevale, and Carmichael. Citrus has some good deals, but yep, research surrounding neighborhoods. Yeah, I would say, okay, for those, like I mentioned, I think Orangevale, Carmichael's got some really, really fun stuff. If you look at Palm Drive as well too, they've got some fun homes. If you're looking for deals though, I think Citrus has got some great deals right now. I think Carmichael is pretty good as well too, but I think if you're looking for like price point wise, I think Citrus is just so solid. I think people are a little scared off because it feels a little more isolated from the access to the 50 and the 80. I think Citrus is pretty nice, depending on also where you go in Citrus. I've moved a lot of people into Citrus. Some really, really nice gated communities as well too. So you can find everything in Citrus. Orangevale, I think it's pretty nice. I think Orangevale, depending, like I said, where you kind of like are in Orangevale. If you're close to Grant Bay, if you're close to Folsom, tend to be a little bit more expensive. So Orangevale is an interesting one. I would also, on this list, I would put like some of the areas in the Rosemont, College Glen area too, near Sacramento State. Those areas, you tend to find some nice ranch style homes in the 400s. College Glen is probably one of the most overlooked, cute communities, location. I mean, College Glen, you can hop on the 50. You can go the Arden area. It's close to like everything, and the price point there is very, very solid. Good community vibes as well too. So I would say add those to your searches as well too. But like I said, Sacramento, you're gonna find some fun stuff here. All right, let's jump into some more new home stuff. All right, boom. Okay, so the first area we'll hit is a Rancho area. Now, Rancho is kind of interesting right here. You're gonna see this basically like, this is the Anatolia area. I always call it the Anatolia area, but it's really kind of like what people refer to as Rancho. Now over here, you're gonna see a ton of new builders, right? Now over here, you're gonna see Elliott. Elliott's building some like $400,000 kind of homes. They're a little smaller, but in that area. So if you're looking for 400, that's a good place to go. Now here is where a bulk of the building is happening in Rancho. Now, what builders do we have out there? We got Pulte, we have Cressley, we have Woodside, we have Beazer, and we have KHOV. Now, as far as the best incentives go, you're probably going to find the best incentives in the Rancho area right here. You're going to find the best incentives at KHOV. In fact, I'd probably say if you're looking for incentives specifically, if you're looking for buy downs, and that's the thing that you're looking for, you want the deals, right? You go to Rancho, you go to KHOV, mention my name, but you go to KHOV, and this is where you're going to find like those crazy, we can buy your rate down. I don't know if it gets better in KHOV, just basically based on the incentives they give. I would say after that, head over to TriPoint. TriPoint's got some great ones. I think they overbuilt a little bit too. I would say after that, Woodside's pretty good as far as lowering prices on homes as well too. Beazer also, they've got one of my favorite single story floor plans out there as well too. So you're going to have a bunch. Now, the thing that's nice about Rancho as well too, it's kind of like, it's going to feel a little out there, but you got Costco about 12 minutes away. You've also got like Target and everything too, that's maybe about 15 minutes away. But the other thing that's really, really nice is the fact that like in Anatolia, you just shoot up the street and you're like in Folsom. So you're going to notice that through the back roads to get to Folsom Ranch and the Palladio, probably about 12, 13 minutes, which is nice. So you avoid all that 50 traffic and you can get right there too. Eventually, that's where the connector is going to go through. So in Rancho, I would say it's probably my number one spot for deals. If you're looking for something 500, if you're looking for something actually even in the high 400s, Rancho is probably the spot that you go. I don't think that there's any other spot, maybe except for South Sacramento at Delta Shores, that you're going to find anything. But we've been putting a lot of people into Rancho just because the deals are there. The mortgage payment makes sense. KHOV also has this really, really nice active community that they just started selling where you can get homes right now in like the mid to low 400s, which is just crazy for an active community. I mean, we're talking like clubhouse, pool, and everything too. So Rancho's got to be definitely that spot. So if you're new to Sacramento or you're thinking about coming up to Sacramento, it's easy, right? You go up to 50 or you go 80 to the 50. And then when you see the Sunrise exit, all you have to do is get off the freeway and just take a right and just keep going past Costco. And all of a sudden you will see every single builder's new home sign out there, right? And Rancho's got to be the best place. So if you're looking for those incentives, guys, Rancho is the spot. Elliott started building as well too. Elliott's got like 3 communities out there too. Every builder underneath the sun. So Rancho is really, really nice. If you're looking for the community vibe as well too, they've got a lot of parks, Elk Grove Unified School District. You're in SMUD as well too. Like I said, all the new communities except for maybe Folsom are going to give you the feeling of being a little isolated. But because there's so much building happening in the Rancho area, because there's so many builders competing for your business, that's why the incentives are so good. The other reason why Rancho is a great spot, probably the best bang for your buck in the Sacramento area, is because unlike West Roseville, which is increased in price point, because KHOV has kind of set the bar where the bar is right now, you know, you're going to see those high 400s, low 500 house prices there, and you're going to see crazy incentives on top of it. So if you are looking for something, if you're looking for like new homes, if you're looking for the deals, this would be my stop number one, hands down. Now, number 2, it's got to be West Roseville. West Roseville is an amazing spot. With the new Costco coming in, all the shopping coming in, you're like 15 minutes from like the shopping hub of the Sacramento area, which is like which is like the Galleria, fountains and everything too, where you got your Nordstroms, your Louis Vuittons, all that stuff too. This is like, it used to be most new homes were being sold there, and then they moved to Rancho for the price point. In West Roseville right here, you have everybody building there as well too. In fact, you have more builders in West Roseville than in the Rancho area. You have like Pulte, you have Woodside, and Woodside's got like 3 different communities, where in Rancho they just have one community with like different different levels of houses there. But like in West Roseville, you have like stuff, you got Woodside building in like Winding Creek, Amoroso Ranch. You have different communities building different builders building all these different communities. Richmond American has 2 communities out there. Pulte has 2 communities out there. Taylor Morrison stopped building there. Oh, and by the way, for Taylor, if you love Taylor, Taylor Morrison will be opening up their Rancho community next year. You heard it first here. Taylor Morrison will be building in Rancho, and the price point will be competitive in the 500s. So keep in mind that. Let's get back to West Roseville. West Roseville, you have the new Kaiser campus is going to be built there. You got the new Costco that's being built there. You got new schools being built there. You got the new surf park being built there. You have Placer Vineyards that's going to connect in with Placer Expressway. You've got so much stuff happening here. The biggest thing about the West Roseville area is, one thing that I love is that you're in Roseville Electric. You're not on SMUD, but Roseville Electric is pretty much like neck and neck with SMUD. Now, if you are moving into the West Roseville area, I would also say what you're going to notice is that in some areas, it's going to be like, you're going to be, wow, this is like $20,000, $30,000 cheaper than in their other community over there, mainly because of schools. So go to greatschools.org and just make sure that you're in the school district you want to be in. Roseville's interesting, and there's 2 different school districts in the Roseville area. Roseville City Schools and Center. So those are the 2 school districts there. And like I said, there's brand new schools being built. I mean, and there's gonna be more and more and more. So that could also change. Now, another thing to note as well too, last year, like I said, Pulte was, I think, in Center, and now it moved over to Roseville City. So the lines of school districts also change a little bit as well too. So just keep that in mind. But the biggest thing about West Roseville is, if you're buying in that area, it is growing like crazy. Costco, there's going to be more infrastructure put in as well too, more fun things to do. West Roseville is really, really an amazing spot. I would say, some of the builders that I love over there, I love JMC. I think JMC gives you the best standard upgrades. There are some great deals happening at JMC. They're just building so many communities out there. I love that. Woodside is pretty solid as well too. Richmond, got one of my favorite floor plans at Richmond, single story. What is it? I think it's the Page. Great floor plan. Then you got Tri Point out there too. If you're looking for an extra large lot, I would say look at the Juniper community for Tri Point. Beautiful, huge lots as well too. Some of them even over 7,000 square feet. What else is out there? Let me think. As far as like, D.R. Horton, they're building an Amoroso Ranch, but you're not going to find anything, maybe like low 600s. Beazer is the only one that I know that still has a single story, like in the 500s, a 3 and 2. But for the most part, no. Actually, JMC has a couple single 3 and 2s that are in the 500 price point, but it's hard to find anything brand new in the West Roseville area in the 500s. Where in Rancho, you got a lot of options over there too. So if you're someone who's thinking to yourself, like, I want West Roseville, I want to be close to the malls, I want to be close to 80, I want to be close to 65, West Roseville, I would definitely check out. You're not going to get the crazy incentives that you would be getting at Rancho, but you're still going to get some pretty amazing incentives, crazy price drops as well too. So that would be probably my number 2 stop, West Roseville. Like I said, I love West Roseville. I think it's close to the Galleria. Look at this. Look, it's so close to like Folsom Lake as well too. Really nice spot. You're going to not only leave West Roseville with an option of what you want to buy, you're going to leave West Roseville with probably 2 or 3 different builders, floor plans that you absolutely love. We've worked with a lot of people moving them into West Roseville, and it's not really about finding them a house. It's finding them like 3 or 4 houses that they absolutely love, and then they have to go home and decide which one they want. So West Roseville, love it. I think it's probably going to be number 2 on the list. So if you're coming to Sacramento and you don't know anything about new homes, first of all, I would say that if your job is closer to the 50, Rancho, I would look at that. And if your job is maybe at the 80, I would say look at that, because what you're going to notice more than anything is that the 80 and the 50, we're not like a normal kind of like a metro area where you have that freeway that surrounds the entire area. it is really, really, the infrastructure of Sacramento isn't the best. And so if you're someone who's like in Roseville and you want to go to Folsom, it can be as much as like 40, 45 minutes to get between them both. So if you're someone who maybe is saying, I'm going to work in Folsom, but I'm thinking about moving to Roseville, just check traffic times, check like when you have to go to work, and check the rush hour times as well too, to give yourself a little bit of an accurate gauge. For the most part, the people we work with, if they're looking at Roseville, if they're looking like at Rockland, those are usually people who like work like on the 80. And, you know, everyone wants to be like 20, 25 minutes before they work. And the people on the 50, you know, in the Rancho and the Folsom area, you know, you can get to downtown like 25 minutes, but they just, you know, so we divide out a little bit like this. And let me see if I can get a better map of this. Yeah, here we go. All right. Yeah. Like I said, you got the 50 and then you got the 80. And it's just one of those things that I would just be very cognizant of that. Let me see if I have a better map of that. Boom. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, you got the 50 and the 80. And if you see this, check this out. Here's 80, boom. And here's a 50 over here too. And so you get into Sacramento right here, and then you're flipping either on the 50 or on the 80. And as you can see, they kind of separate out even more and more and more. And there's really no way to connect them, right? There are these roads, like I said, you got Hazel, you got Sunrise and everything too, but there's really no way. So as the 50 and the 80 keep going, they keep getting further and further apart from each other. And so if you're saying to yourself, oh, you know what? I'm going to be living in Rockland, but I'm going to be working in Folsom. That might look really close on a map, but that's not a fun thing to do. So, okay. So that'd be my big speech. I'll get off my pedestal as far as that goes. So that was Rancho. That was West Roseville. And like I said, I love both those areas. If you're looking for something maybe in the high 4s, low 5s, great incentives, it's Rancho. If you're looking for something and you're on the 50 and you're in SMUD country, if you're looking for something on the 80 and you're looking for great incentives, tons of builders in West Roseville as well too. And now we go to Elk Grove. Elk Grove's another big one. I would say if you're looking for Elk Grove Unified School District, and that's why you like Elk Grove, I would say look at Rancho as well too. Look at Vineyard. The Vineyard areas, you got Taylor Morrison, Wild Hawk North and Wild Hawk South. You know, really good builder. You're not going to get the warm and fuzzy Elk Grove Sky Casino, but you're going to get the school district, and you're going to get maybe about a $50,000 to $100,000 less of a price point, which we love. Elk Grove is crazy. Taylor, Woodside, Beezer, very, very competitive market. I'd say probably at this point, not as competitive right now as Folsom, because Folsom has slowed down a little bit on their building, but Elk Grove is one of those spots that people absolutely love. There are certain people that come into the area that only want Elk Grove, and Elk Grove has always been one of those markets that is super competitive. Out of the 3 zip codes, or the 3 main zip codes in Elk Grove, the 757 is the one that people absolutely freak out over. Some people are just like, I want the 757. They love the schools. They love the proximity to downtown. And their main thing about Elk Grove, and this is for all you guys who are coming in from the Bay that maybe have to commute one day, the commute, because Elk Grove is one of the most southern areas of the Sacramento area, the commute from Elk Grove tends to be a lot shorter, and people absolutely love it. So a lot of people I know that have to go to San Jose or whatnot, they choose Elk Grove specifically. Now, Elk Grove also is one of those spots that I moved in people Elk Grove, and all of a sudden their cousins are moving in, or their like friends move in. Elk Grove is a very family-friendly, family fun spot. Closes down around 9 o'clock. It's not really that crazy, go out all night type of place. I don't think really too much of Sacramento is, but Elk Grove is that. And like I said, super competitive, but you are seeing deals right now. New Home Company, Arbor, they're doing some deals. Taylor Morrison's doing some deals too. And I know Beezer for sure is doing some deals. So if you guys are looking for Elk Grove, I would say that you're going to see some deals. They're not going to be as crazy, and price point isn't going to be as good as West Roseville or as Rancho. But Elk Grove is definitely right now a little softer than I've seen it. It's still pretty active, still competitive, but I'd say now is the time to strike if you're looking for probably a deal in the Elk Grove area. I mean, I was talking to Lorenzo over Taylor Morrison, really good guy, and he was telling me, you know, like, we've got some stuff going in Elk Grove. It's not the crazy deals that you're seeing in West Roseville. It's not the crazy incentives you're seeing in Rancho, but right now he has inventory, which is one of those things that Taylor Morrison in Elk Grove, you really don't see it much. All right, boom. Now another big one. We're talking South Sacramento, and we're talking about Delta Shores. If you're looking for something that's maybe in the 500s, maybe like, you know, that area, and you like South Sacramento, you like the idea of all the building and all the commercial that they're doing in the Delta Shores area, I would say, or the South Sacramento area, Delta Shores is the spot you want to go. Delta Shores is really, really nice. Proximity to the pocket, proximity to downtown Sacramento. The only thing I would say about Delta Shores is the houses seem a little small and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot to do right there just yet. But the area is growing, it's developing. If you're looking for 500s, like I said, South Sacramento, I would go take a look at it. I think you're probably gonna get some great incentives as well too. I know they're not moving units as fast as they'd like to when we're getting close to the end of the year. So that would be me. Like I said, if I was coming into Sacramento and I wanted a deal, Rancho, I'd go to West Roseville. Elk Grove, maybe, because you're not going to really find those crazy deals that, like you'd see at Rancho or West Roseville. And then I might segue into South Sacramento, Delta Shores, and you're probably going to find some great deals as well. All right. So those are the areas that I would hit for deals. Now, there's some outliers, like, for example, like Plumas Lake and Linda. I think you can get great deals there. They're both about maybe 30 minutes from Roseville. They're a little further out. Those are ones that are great deals. That area, though, a lot of people feel like it's too far away. Lincoln, the same thing. Great deals out there as well. People feel like it's too far away. The other area I might look is West Sacramento. There's just not too much building there yet. There's not, I guess what I'm saying is, okay, when you have areas like your West Rosevilles and your Rancho where you have maybe like 10 to 12 builders, and they're building a lot of communities, the competition between builders is a lot. So it brings prices down, and it also, everyone's trying to out incentive the other person. You're looking at areas like West Roseville or West Sacramento and Vineyard area. There's only like a handful of builders. Like right now in Vineyard, there's like Taylor Morrison, and that's pretty much it. And then in West Sacramento, you've got like Beezer, and maybe I think there's like LGI out there too. But there's only a couple builders. So the prices tend to be really a little higher. And there's just not a lot of competition out there, so they don't really feel the need to give you crazy incentives. So I would say if you're looking for those incentives, or if you're looking for those deals, Rancho, just with the amount of builders building out there, the amount of standing inventory they have, KHOV, basically setting the bar really, really good for you guys for good incentives. Everyone's trying to compete with them. Rancho is a good place for deals. West Roseville too. The only thing about West Roseville, just make sure you're in the right school district you want. And West Roseville isn't slowing down at all. So you're going to see some new builders as well, new communities. Tri-Point, Woodside over in, what's it called? The Woodside community. I think it's Poppy is about ready to sell out as well too. So they have some deals going on as well. But I don't know. For you guys, for looking for deals, if deals are what you're looking for, Rancho, West Roseville, and then swing it back to South Sac. That would be it. And like I said, we have a lot of building happening in the area. Look at all that new home building, all these new home communities. It could literally take you a week to go to all of them. But like I said, if you're looking for those deals, you definitely know where to find them. All right, guys, if you're enjoying this live broadcast, please smash that like button. If you have any questions about new homes, let me know. I kid you not, our team, for the most part, we've been doing new homes, going strong for I think it's 7 or 8 years. And we've been selling Taylor, Woodside, Toll Brothers, you name it. We pretty much know all the salespeople that work. We all know all the regional sales managers as well too. We have good communication with all of them. We can tell you where all the deals are happening as well too. So feel free to reach out to us. There's a Zoom link below in the description as well too. We can get on a call, talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons of areas, builders, where we're seeing the best incentives, where we're seeing new communities spring up that you might not know about, like in Rancho Marietta or other areas that you might not even be familiar with. So there's a Zoom link below. Now let's get into some more Q&A, and then I will let you guys go for the evening. If you guys are enjoying this live broadcast, smash that like button. It would mean a lot. Okay, so here we go. Like I said, again, you're going to hear a lot of people on the news, on YouTube videos saying this is the lowest we've seen rates in the last 1 to 3 years. I think we saw lower rates a little before Jerome Powell made his talk, but we're getting there. It's just going to depend on what happens tomorrow, and also for, the report that's going to be released on Friday. It could be an interesting winter. How crazy would it be if the CPI report number was lower and all of a sudden we started dipping even below 6s? So yeah, it's going to be a fun ride. All right. Boom. All right. On that map of all the new homes, how many plus 55 communities? Oof, that's interesting. I would say, okay, let me think. I would say in Lincoln, there is 2. one by Elliott, one by Taylor Morrison. I would say in West Roseville, you got Lennar Heritage that's out there. West Roseville, I think that's the only one out in West Roseville, unless I'm completely losing my brain. In Rancho, the only active community brand new is going to be the K-Hov one. In Folsom, you got Regency by Toll Brothers. You got Lennar Community up there as well too. What else? Am I missing any? I would say that per area, you're probably going to look at it between 1 and 2 active communities. So like I said, like Folsom's got 2. I think West Roseville has 1, but there's got to be another one that's just escaping me. In Rancho, there's 1. The K-Hov one is the only one that I know of that is building like right now. Great deals as well too. Folsom, Toll Brothers Regency, and then Lennar's up there as well too. Now another one that's interesting too, Elk Grove. Taylor Morrison is building out a active community as well too in Elk Grove, which is interesting. I've never seen them build an active community except for the one they have in Lincoln. So they went all out for that one in Lincoln. So I'm kind of curious to see, you know, the active community they have in Elk Grove. But I would say probably 1 or 2 per area. That's what you're going to see. Active communities are hot here. I think they're really, really helping a lot of the baby boomers who may be saying to themselves, you know what? I don't need to finance a home. So I have my home, it's paid off. I want to sell it, make some money. And then I want to downsize to an area in a community that, you know, has like, you know, pool, restaurants and everything too, which a lot of these active communities are just crazy. I call them cruise ships on land because they're just that amazing. Like the one at Toll Brothers Regency, it's just nuts. That pool over there, the one they're building at in Rancho for K-Hov, that one's great. And you can get like a brand new home in that community for like mid 400s. And then the one at Turkey Creek, by Taylor Morrison, they give you actual pool service. Other level. All right. Boom. How's the rental market for single family homes in Roseville? I would say in Roseville, fantastic. West Roseville, I think is a little softer. West Roseville isn't just like you throw a house on the market and it's gone. Not yet. It will be eventually with like the new, you know, Kaiser being built out there, the new college out there as well too. It'll be out there. But I think West Roseville is a little slower as far as rentals for single family homes. Roseville, oh yeah, you can rent that thing all day long. All right. Boom. All right. Let's get some questions. All right. Who wants to learn about nightlife in Sacramento, in the Sacramento area? I do. Give us hope. All right. So here's the thing. For me, as you guys probably know, I'm a barbecue Netflix type of guy. I moved to Sacramento for suburban life. I spend my evenings with my family. That's kind of how I roll. But I will tell you this. I've talked to a few people who wanted to talk nightlife. I want to do 2 videos on this channel in the upcoming months. Number 1 is a nightlife video. I want to showcase the things you can do at night, right? Number 2, and this is good, I want to also do a video of maybe the top 10 places for different type of foods that you can go to in the Sacramento area. I've already reached out to I met this guy who was I won't mention names for privacy, but I was out having a lunch at Ella's in Sacramento. And he was like, hey, oh my God, I watch your channel. And we were starting to talk. And he loves the food scene. So I want to do also a food scene video for you guys. And it's going to be more about like, you know, there's going to be, you know, some restaurants that are like, you know, you got to dress up a little bit. Some nice food truck areas as well too. I want to give you guys a little bit more of the food stuff that's going on in the Sacramento area, because I think that'd be really fun. So I want to do some stuff like that. I also want to do some stuff that you can do on the weekends, fun things to do, places to go and everything too. I'm trying to make this channel a spot where that if you move into this area and you just feel like, you know, I moved into Sacramento, I know there's a lot of stuff to do here. I know there's a good food scene here. Like where do I go for that stuff? So a lot of this stuff and a lot of those videos I want to start bringing to this channel as well too. And if you guys think that would be fun, like food video, and it won't be crazy. It won't be like a food video every week, but it'll be like, here are 10 spots. If you're coming to Sacramento, we'll give you some cool dining options and showcase Sacramento's dining scene. And then it'll be like, here are 10 spots that if you are not like me and you like to go out, these are areas that might actually work for you. So these are videos I want to also do in the future. All right. Sacramento's hottest deal. I know it's a little bit much, but I thought it was kind of funny. This deal, I mean, I can't believe it was reduced like over $229,000. All right, great house, laughable at 1.2 price. The world is changing. I'd rather take 150K and build the same thing in Portugal with an ocean view. Man, Portugal. I like your style. Here's the thing. I'm going to start dropping some videos that are going to be all different price points. They're all going to be about these reductions that I'm seeing on the market. I'm going to drop one on Friday. Taylor Morrison is dropping $90,000 on a Highland floor plan. It was a former model home, and it's their last home for sale up in Folsom. Now they bought some more land, and they're going to be building in Folsom as well too. Probably they're going to open up that community probably like next year sometime. But if you're looking for Taylor, if you're looking for a former model home, if you're looking for something under $900,000, this video I'm going to drop on Friday. All right. Wants to learn about nightlife, Midtown's where it's at. Got to say, I agree with that. If you want nightlife, Sacramento isn't the best place. Might have to agree with that too. Sacramento is better enjoyed as more of a laid back vibe overall. Totally agree. This is my favorite comment though. We're parents with kids. Nightlife was 18 years ago for us. I'm with you 100%. The idea, even thought of going out, like out, it doesn't make me happy at all. So yeah, I'm with you. All right. Boom. All right. Hold on. Boom. Here we go. Another question. Hello, Mark. I was told not to get a home near the railway. Might need to repair the railway. Okay, I'm going to say that again, except this time. And normally around this time, that's when I get a little tongue-tied. So I'm going to take a little sip. Okay, now we'll resume. Hello, Mark. I was told not to get a home near the railway. Might need to repair the foundation. How often will one need to replace it? Also, Vista Oaks, any incentives? I would say as far as like foundation, yeah. I mean, a lot of these projects are infill projects, what was it called? Like Crocker. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard it too much. The area that I heard that is crazy right now with foundation stuff is Mountain House. A guy that I talked to, a really nice guy too. He's had issues up in Mountain House with foundation. I've never really run into anything foundation wise here. Right. And if I'm, like I said, it's not because there might not be foundation issues in some of these houses. It's just that I've never run across it with any clients or any builder that I've actually worked with. Right. Now this is one I will tell you with a builder in West Sacramento. I will not name the builder. They actually built the wrong house for my client. Wrong floor plan. So that was a big thing, but that's the worst thing that I've heard. But foundation wise, I've never really run into it. I'd say Vista Oaks, any incentives? Yeah. I'd say for Vista Oaks, definitely incentives. Good buy downs. Like I said, I don't think you're going to get as many crazy stuff as in Rancho, but I think, yeah, I've seen some stuff. I've got a couple of emails that I've gotten from people at the Vista Oaks. Yeah. So I think right now, any community you're going to run into, you can also negotiate. I haven't seen that for a long, long time, right? A lot of realtors always talk about, oh, I can negotiate for you. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. For example, like if you're looking for that one house that everybody else wants, maybe the one with the extra large lot, you can't negotiate anything, okay? If you find like a house that's maybe there's like 3 floor plans on the market, there's the same floor plan and they're trying to get rid of them, yeah, you can negotiate now. You can negotiate price, incentives, throwing in solar, throwing in land. I mean, they're giving away everything right now too. So I would say for you, if you're working with a realtor, that's awesome. If you're working not with a realtor and it's just you, go hard. Like you're not going to need, all you're going to need to do for the most part to throw in an offer is go through their lender, get a pre-approval. And then all you have to do is you don't have to write up a formal offer. You just have to basically have them write up an email with your pre-approval and say, this is what I want. Even if it seems a little outlandish, go for it. Start low and see where it gets you. For me, we've worked with a lot of clients and that's kind of what we've done. Go through the pre-approval process, but first make sure you like the builder and you kind of like, it's worth to go through the pre-approval process, even though it's like a soft credit check or credit pull. You don't want to go through like 10 of them and get pre-approved with 10 of them, especially if they're going to be doing like credit checks or credit pulls. But if you find a builder that you really, really like, you find a floor plan that you like, I would say go through their lender and then just go low. And we've been doing that with a lot of clients these days. We go low and, it might not work, but at the same time, what we've been seeing more than not as we're getting closer to the end of the year, a lot of these deals that were thrown out there, a lot of these low ball deals that were thrown out there, They're coming back to us. Maybe they're not accepting that, but they're coming back way lower than we anticipated. So I think there is a lot of negotiation room right now. I would never settle for just the incentive you're seeing online. I would go lower. And what you'll notice, and I talked to a lot of the sales reps that we work with, and they're like, don't be afraid to write up an offer. Good friend of mine, or a friend of mine, was looking up at Shawwood, right? And they're telling me, for the most part, oh, we're not going to be able to get a Hazel for under $2 million. I kid you not. You can probably get a Hazel now for like 195, under 2, something like that, based on the communications I've had with the sales office. Now, that's not a guarantee, and that's not saying you can definitely get one for under that, but I would say that right now you have room to negotiate. I would say don't settle for this stuff you're seeing online. Don't feel that, oh my God, they're giving this incentive and that's all I get. Go low. I mean, you have nothing to lose, right? Let's say you're seeing a nice floor plan. Let's say it's a Hazel and you love it, right? And it's listed at 2.1, going at 1.9, 1.85. I mean, yes, they could laugh at you and they might not take your offer, but at the same time, you have got nothing to lose. So for me, especially this time of the year, the type of market we're in right now, the type of inventory that's on the market as well too, especially in the new home world, I would say go low. You got nothing to lose. And it's not a guarantee that you're going to get the deal of the century, but I would never want to leave money on the table. So that would just be my 2 cents on that. All right. Boom. Let's get back to some more questions. All right, would you buy a rental property today in Sacramento? It all depends on how good of a deal a property is. It's challenging to acquire a rental property with a monthly rent that covers the current cost of borrowing money. Agree 100%. So this essentially leaves cash investors at play in most California real estate unless you find a smoking hot deal. What I've been noticing more than anything is that, okay, so first of all, if you're an investor and you're looking at these great incentives at the new homes, that's not for you. It's pretty much for people who are not investors, right? Not looking for a second home. It's usually for regular people looking to buy a home. So investors, I think it's like the most you can get back is 2%. So a lot of investors that we're working with right now, they don't like Mello-Roos, they don't like HOAs, even though the new home is really attractive because it's brand new. A lot of them are pivoting right now to houses that are like, don't have Mello-Roos, don't have HOAs, and they can build in a seller credit to pay for closing costs. And a lot of them are even thinking about house hacking. So it's a different rental market as far as what I've been seeing. I haven't been seeing a ton of investors, but the investors I'm working with right now, they're more into quads and into resale homes that they can get good deals on. They can leverage a good offer in strong rental markets. All right, boom. Would you happen to know anything about the so-called great rotation that's supposed to happen in the near future? No, I don't. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm screenshotting your comment because you've intrigued me to figure that out. Tune in next week and I'll give you a little bit of my thoughts on the great rotation. But yeah, as of right now, I don't know what that is. Maybe if you can give me a little bit more of like some background, that would be awesome too. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Next one. Best luxury area in the Sacramento Metro. El Dorado Hills, by far. Nothing else even comes close on this list. Honestly, I'd say right now for the average median home price, Grant Bay is probably the top. El Dorado Hills is gorgeous with the views and everything too. I think you got Loomis. I think you got certain areas and certain communities too, like Whitney Oaks. I would say like Cataverdera or Verdera is another great communities. You have some of these communities that you might not even know about that have these $3, $4, $5, $6 million homes as well too. Really, really nice kind of niche communities in almost every single part, every suburb in the Sacramento area. But I will say this, El Dorado Hills is hard to beat those views. All right, next one. Boom. Insane 3 point. This house is crazy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This video tour was done. We wanted to be a little creative and give you guys a little fun. These tours, for the most part, I just love doing because I drool about these houses, and these houses are gorgeous. This house is just epic. I mean, I've seen houses. Here's the thing that's so funny about the Sacramento area. Sometimes you'll see a house that's like $2 million, right? And you're like, oh man, $2 million house, and it'll be dated. It'll still be nice. Don't get me wrong. But there's like, sometimes it's choppy. The flow isn't there. It doesn't have like, the great room concept, but it's a $2 million home. Maybe it's based on location. Maybe it's based on this or that and the other thing too. And sometimes I'll showcase a home and people will say, $2 million for that home. There's just no way. This home though, it's custom, it's spec, great room concept. And there's stuff in this house that I have not seen in any other house in the Sacramento area. Views are unmatched. And so for me, it was a pleasure to do this house. It was just crazy. Like I just saw this house and I was like, this house is so what a lot of the $1 million homes in Sacramento are going to be in the future. This house just blew me away. The recessed lighting, all the imported materials on this house. I haven't seen a house like this in the Sacramento area. I can honestly say, I don't think I've stepped foot into a house like this in the Sacramento area. Probably ever. So this house is gorgeous. If you guys haven't caught the video, definitely check it out. All right. Question. What interest rates will single family home prices stiffen up? At what interest rates will single family homes prices stiffen up? I think if we go low 6s, high 5s, I think if something definitely has a 5 on it, like even if it's 5.999, if that's like, just a standard rate, I think that's going to do it. I think prices then will be all Sacramento's market needs is interest rates to get, in the 5s. I think as soon as that happens, I think we're going to surge again. It's just Sacramento's got so much stuff going on. You got the new stadium being built at the rail yards. You got the whole Dova district. You got the connector project. You got all these medical hospitals opening up as well too. All we just need is interest rates to dip. I'm thinking house prices will start to get a little bit, it'll start to stiffen up a little bit, low 6s. But if we get into the 5s, I don't care what it is, a 5 behind it, that's when interest rates are going to that's when like prices are going to, I think, go back up. So I think for me right now, I get why demand was slow this year. I get by the economy, like all this stuff happening in the news and everything too. I get why people were a little shy on buying. Demand was a little low. Also buyers felt like they probably got their teeth kicked in a lot by these sellers that were putting these prices that were like way, way high. So I understood that. But I do think that there is this need for people that want to buy homes. And I think that resale has always been really attractive in the Sacramento area. People pivot now to the new homes, but resale, they still love the resale areas. Established communities, a little bit more spacing between the houses. And I do think that if we get into an area where we see interest rates with a 5.999, like I said, I think what you're going to see is home prices start to go up again. And I think our market's going to flourish again. I think comparatively towards Phoenix and Dallas, I think they're hurting. I think our market, once things start to pick up, rates start to go a little better, hopefully have a good spring, I think sky's the limit. Like, I think right now people are like complaining that Sacramento is unaffordable, right? Oh, it's unaffordable. It's unaffordable. If you think Sacramento right now is unaffordable, look at Sacramento in 3 years. I think prices are going to be a lot higher. And I think that affordability might not be one of those words you kind of bring up when you talk about Sacramento. Our location's fantastic, close to Tahoe, close to the bay. We have all these new things happening. Surf Park in Roseville. You got the Kaiser campus. You got the Rail Yards project. You have all these things happening in the Sacramento area. You have all these new homes being built, all this Mello-Roos being poured into the area, giving us new police departments, fire departments, parks, schools. Our area is just really, really thriving in a market where right now most areas, most cities, most states even are hurting. So I would say for me, I'm very optimistic on Sacramento. And I think if we can get something with a 5 in front of it, 5.99, I think our market's going to flip. And I think Sacramento will be one of the first areas in California, if not the United States, that's going to just go, go, go. I mean, remember this too. Beginning of this year, they're saying out of any state, everyone was leaving California. And out of every single city in the United States, and this was Redfin, this isn't me, this was Redfin who stated, out of every city in the United States, Sacramento was the one that was most searched for. People were looking about moving into Sacramento. That was their number one search for spot out of every single city in the United States. So that tells me, guys, that we're on to something pretty good. So there you go. If you guys enjoy this broadcast, smash that like button. Appreciate it. This is all the people that like to barbecue, stay in and watch Netflix. No nightlife. All right. Why California living just keeps getting more expensive. PG&E is out of control. We need to build some nuclear power plants around the state. There's no reason for us to be charged as much. I agree. PG&E is brutal. I think a lot of people right now, you're seeing a lot of people look at the Sacramento area, and this is for electricity. You got Roseville Electric, you got PG&E, and you got SMUD. I think people are gravitating towards areas with SMUD, just because of the rates and because of the efficiency and the lack of brownouts and everything too. I think Roseville, a lot of people pick Roseville because of Roseville Electric as well too. I think PG&E right now is probably one of the main reasons that people might pivot from like an El Dorado to a Folsom because of that. And I think also what we're noticing too with PG&E, you're noticing the PG&E is also in some of those areas that require high fire insurance. And so those two things are just not good for our market. So hopefully, PG&E, we get that a little under control, and also home insurance as well too. We get that under control. Those are the two things. I think if we can get those things wrangled in a little bit, I think our market will even be stronger and stronger and stronger. And just on the infrastructure thing, I think Sacramento, we need public transportation, better public transportation, and our infrastructure needs to happen sooner than later. So those are the things about Sacramento. If you don't know about Sacramento, those would be some of our pain points. All right. Boom. Do you remember? God, I got to learn how to talk. Do you recommend waiting to list a home until Mortgage News Daily is showing rates at 5.99? It depends on your home. I would say look at your area, right? Okay. So the thing about Sacramento in general is majority of the homes are tract homes, right? So you can see how like a floor plan like yours may be sold like maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago, how fast it sells. So you can kind of gauge exactly like, the high and low price per square foot. You can go to some open houses in your community as well too and see like what the traction is, talk to the agent and kind of figure it out a little bit. If your community is one of those like unicorn communities, like something in Folsom or something like Briggs Ranch, figure out what you want as far as a price point for your house, and then just see based on the comps, based on the price per square foot, based on the days in the market, if it makes sense to list your home now. Some houses fly no matter when you list them. But more than not, houses tend to do better when the interest rate has dropped a little bit or during springtime. And that's just kind of like what Sacramento is all about. So I would say for you, depending on the area, depending on the neighborhood, depending on the price per square foot, days on the market, just kind of really be strategic about it. And also I would say for you specifically, this weekend, find a couple of houses within a 1/4 mile radius. If there's some open houses, go there right in the middle of the open house, look at the sign up sheet, see how many people went through. And then when new houses pop on the market, I hate recommending Zillow, but this is a trick we do. If a new house pops on the market in your like area, right, or in your community, look at the Zillow's views versus saved to see what that ratio looks like and how actively people are looking for that type of house. That'll also give you a little bit of an indicator. But for me, normally if it's just a normal house, normal area, I love when there's nothing else on the market, 1/4 mile radius. And I love when there's a little bit of an interest rate drop. And I love listing houses like in March, spring, because we have such a big Bay Area flood that comes in. A lot of people in the Bay Area are like, school gets out, I want to get my house, I want to go on vacation, I want to start school, I want to do all that stuff too. And it's just because we have so much traffic coming in from other areas. Schools are a huge one, and we get a big push. Normally, this year not as much. March, April, May, they flood on in because people want those to basically do the move, enjoy summer, maybe go on a last vacation, and then start school. They want that. So that's something about our market as well too. Hopefully that helped. Boom. All right. Sacramento real estate market update. Uploaded wish list. Price reduction is not a comp price reduction. There's little to no inventory for existing single family homes. Sellers are still very much in control. Sac weather is horrible. Hot all summer, rain, foggy winter. The amount of rain is awful. I got to tell you, so far, it's October. We've had maybe a few days of rain, nothing too brutal right now. I would say also the days of the market, is kind of creeping up there too. So as much as you want to say the sellers are still in control, I don't think so. I'm thinking to myself right now that the buyers have kind of taken their ball and gone home. If rates drop, completely different story. But what we noticed spring and summer is the buyer demand just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. And that's what allowed inventory to kind of go, increase on the market. People weren't there buying that inventory. So it kind of stacked up. And now our inventory levels are better than they were before. So I would say, if anything, if you're looking at this market, it's kind of like an even market, right? Buyers have an advantage sometimes, sellers have an advantage. And I would say there is a whole sector of buyers that have basically said, I'm not interested in buying. I'm good. I don't really need to buy. I don't really feel that pressure. And that is a big chunk of the market that we're missing. And that's why demand was so low. All right. The rain isn't that bad. That's dramatic. A couple of reasons. If he's nailed, we had a decade-long drought with temperature dry, wet. I know. For me, the funniest thing is a lot of people are like talking, oh, flood. I'm like, look, here's the thing. 5 years ago, Folsom Lake wasn't Folsom Lake. It was Folsom Pond. If anything, worry more about like water bills during that time. Winter here is nothing. I mean, for me, it's just nothing. I mean, now and again, there'll be occasional wind, right? Wind for a week or two. Rain isn't that bad. I actually love the rainy weather. For me, it's a change of pace. I love it. Get out my nice heavy coats, go out. It's nice. So for me, I think the weather here, I think the winters are mild. I think fall weather, I love the fall weather. I love the idea of wearing sweaters as well too. I think our like weather cycles are perfect in Sacramento. The only thing I will say is during summer, it does get hot. And for people who live in Sacramento, like myself, it's hot. Okay, get over it, right? But for people coming in from like a Seattle or something, yeah, it does definitely get hot. But for winters, for rains, yeah, I got to agree with you. I do completely agree. I think this is way exaggerated about the weather. In fact, though, here's the thing. If you are going to think about moving to Sacramento, or you're thinking about testing it out, why not come out and take a look at the weather for yourself? That's a perfect way to tell about what the winters are like. For me, I love the winters here. Fire up the fireplace, go for some nice evening walks, everyone getting together, not too cold. Love it, love it, love it. But cold enough where I can go snowboarding in Tahoe, about an hour and 20 minutes away. And that, my friends, is not bad. All right, Brandon, we need rain in Sacramento. Laugh out loud. Person must be from Los Angeles. La La Land. No hate, just having fun. Nah, I'm with you. And that's the funniest thing about Sacramento. I mean, we get a little sporadic rain here and there. I love the rain here. I think the rain is great. I love the seasons here in Sacramento as well too. I mean, how many people out there are just enjoying like the leaves changing, the colors out there? In Gold River, we got turkeys cruising around as well too. Love it, love it, love it. This, for me, I love summer, pool guy, barbecue and everything too, but there is something special about fall and winter here in Sacramento, shooting up to like Apple Hill, going to like the fabulous 40s for light shows. There's just something something special about Northern California, Sacramento and everything too. This season is really, really nice. So I'm excited for it. I got my sweaters ready to go and everything. All right. We're rumored to be getting a CPI report Friday. Does it come in hot or cold? This is the question, right? And we've been talking about this. So I don't know. And this is big. I mean, it's really, really big because like I said, let me see if I can pull this up. This is where it gets really, really interesting, right? CPI report coming in on Friday. If it's higher than anticipated, will rates go back up? Now, if it's lower, I mean, do rates continue to drop? I don't know. Friday is going to be very, very interesting, and I'm very curious to see how it's going to affect everything. So I would say for you guys, be cognizant of the CPI report coming out Friday. Also, 10-year Treasury, keep focused in on that as well too. I see a lot of people who've lost money in Tesla. I've heard a lot of people losing money in Tesla, Netflix, and a lot of people are switching their money over to bonds. I don't know if that's true or not. Like I said, I got my guy Merrill who handles my stuff, but that's what I've heard is one of the reasons why we're seeing rates dip. So it'll be interesting. I think the CPI report coming out Friday, it's going to be interesting to see how it really does, how it affects mortgage rates. So I'm interested to see that. All right. Boom. Boom, boom. All right. Let's go back to some questions. All right, wrong button. All right, hold on. Let's get some more questions and then we'll let it go for the evening. Boom. All right, we did this one. Here we go. Bloated wish list. Here we go. Insane. Guys, okay, this video is funny. It was one of the videos that's just like took off on this channel. This house, amazing. A hill, absolutely gorgeous. If you guys want to see specific type of properties, if you see a property or an address that you guys say, this house is amazing, I'd love to see you do a video of it. Put it in the comments below as well too. I take requests and I'm friends with a lot of the realtors out there as well too, and they love me doing their videos. So if you want to see a house specifically, if you want to see a house tour, let me know. I'll be releasing a lot more of them as well too in the future. All right, let's get into some polls and then we are done. What are we at? Man, we're at $1.30, so that's not bad. Who wants to learn more about food options in the Sacramento area? 76%. So that's going to be, like I said, I want to do a top 10. Not going to be like the best and the worst, but there are going to be 10 spots in the Sacramento area that you need to try if you're moving to Sacramento. So I'm going to do that coming up with a friend. So it's going to be fun. All right, who wants to learn about nightlife in Sacramento? 50 minutes. You guys are all like me. I mean, majority of people are just like me. Nightlife, no thank you. Parent, Netflix, barbecue, that's me. All right. Who would buy rental property today in Sacramento? Yes, 34% no. And that's kind of what I'm seeing, guys. I think investors right now with the high interest rates, I just think they're a little scared off at this point. All right, best luxury area in the Sacramento Metro. Granite Bay, even though we had a comment about El Dorado Hills. I'd say the two spots that have the highest price point as medium price point is probably Granite Bay and El Dorado Hills by far. I'd say like you could find luxury communities and neighborhoods everywhere, like Loomis, Fair Oaks. You can find stuff in East Sacramento as well too. But I would say if you're looking for median home price, Granite Bay, El Dorado Hills. All right. Where'd you rather live if prices were equal? East Sacramento, 18%, Granite Bay, 35%, El Dorado Hills and Granite Bay. You guys are loving El Dorado Hills and Granite Bay. Can't really blame you. All right, which type of community fits your lifestyle the best? Boom, family suburb. Guys, one thing to note about Sacramento. Well, first thing, smash that like button if you could. I'd appreciate it. I would say one thing about Sacramento, I think we can all agree with this. Sacramento, I'd say 95% of Sacramento is a suburb. That's what Sacramento is pretty much about. It's about family stuff. It's about hanging out with your family. It's about movie nights in the park. It's about community gatherings. It's about soccer games during the weekend. That's what Sacramento is all about. It's about kind of neighborly stuff, shutting down blocks on 4th of July. That's what Sacramento is kind of all about. And so hopefully you guys are enjoying that as much as I am. I grew up in an area in Marin County that we used to have that when I was younger. As I grew up, less of that started happening, and I really missed that. And I really enjoyed that growing up, but I really missed that for my daughter. So coming here to Sacramento, she rides her bikes. We go on our beach cruisers. We do family nights. We get together with a swim team. We do fun stuff, and it's all family centric, really relaxed, barbecue all the time. Pools are big in Sacramento. And that's kind of what we're all about here. All right, boom. All right. And that is it for the evening. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the broadcast. Like I said, if you have, please smash that like button. If you guys want any topics in the future, if you guys want anything on the show that you think it's missing, let me know. I do the show for you guys, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're looking for new homes, reach out to our team. We know all the new home communities in the area, incentives and everything too. We can have a little bit of a powwow and talk a little bit about what you need, what you want, your timeline, and all that fun stuff. Zoom link is below. I'm done for the evening, guys, and I'll be releasing another video on Friday at 7 p.m. for a deal that's happening at Taylor Morrison and Folsom Ranch. So tune in for that one. Till next time, guys, this is Mark. See ya. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash that like button. What do you guys think about the Sacramento real estate market? Is it cold? Will it pick up? Will interest rates drop? I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Please put your comments, because so many people look at these videos. I want them to actually see your comments and understand what the market looks like right now. From people who live here, people who've moved here, people are just seeing it firsthand. It would mean a whole lot to me. Now, guys, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. There's also a hype button on the video as well too. Hit that hype button as well. It would mean a whole lot to me. Now, guys, we are a real estate team in the area. So if you're thinking about making the move to Sacramento, you have some questions, jump on a Zoom call with us. We can talk to you a little bit about the different areas, pros and cons, good time to buy, all those things that you need to know before making the move to the Sacramento area. There's a Zoom link below. Now, if you're thinking about selling your home, guys, honestly, no other team in the area has the largest YouTube channel in the area. You can market your property like no other. We get more eyeballs on your home than any other team in the area. Reach out to us. We'd love to show you some marketing systems statistics and how we're actually selling homes with YouTube videos. Guys, I know it's crazy, but it's true. Now, one last thing before I go, there's a playlist over there of other videos I've done in the Sacramento area. Honestly, these videos right here really help you guys understand the Sacramento area, get educated. Knowledge is power, guys. And those videos right over there will get you the knowledge you need, or at least get you started in understanding the Sacramento market. All right, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one. See ya.